Hi kids, Uncle Corey here. Before we started the show, I wanted to give you a quick update. My debut novel, Back to the Hunt, is available for pre-order now. Click on the link below, go to 5310publishing.com, and you can get it there. Hardcover, paperback, ebook, if you're into the whole brevity thing. It is available now for pre-order, and the book is actually going to be released in March of 2023. Now back to the show.
Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we're doing 2008's Two Lovers. Before we get started, if you want to follow me or Corey on Twitter, you could follow me at Junior D's. You could follow Corey at Corey_Idol. Or you can follow the show at Kiss the Reviews on both Twitter and Instagram.
Much better follow.
Much better follow. So let's jump right into this. We'll start with the cast of 2008's Two Lovers. The film stars Joaquin Phoenix as Leonard, Gwyneth Paltrow as Michelle, and Vinessa Shaw as Sandra. So, full disclosure, I've never seen this movie until we watched it this time. Never seen it. I didn't even recognize the title, to be perfectly honest. So this is
never.
Yeah, this is my first run through.
Yeah, never heard even a whisper about this movie being made.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, it's not that bad.
No, it's not that bad. And I'll be honest, not knowing about a film before you watch it is actually pretty refreshing.
It was a little anxiety, because I'm sitting there going, but what is happening?
What is happening?
I say we just dive right into this one. So this movie opens with Leonard. He's walking on a bridge in Brooklyn with some dry cleaning. He drops the dry cleaning, climbs over the rail, and jumps into the water in an apparent suicide attempt. He has second thoughts, starts to swim to the surface where he's helped by some random people. And I have a question here. And I don't know if you caught this, but a random dude, like, because everybody's like, oh, you okay? What's going on?
Yeah.
And as he's walking away, some random dude is like, doesn't he work at the cleaners? He doesn't look so dry now.
Hey, ain't that the guy that works over at the dry cleaner on Neptune Avenue?
Maybe, but he doesn't look too dry to me now.
What, now you got jokes? Like, this dude's trying to commit suicide. These motherfuckers got jokes.
That joke doesn't even make sense. That's what angered me the most about it. Because I was just like, okay, take apart everything else. And you're just like, oh, in a rainstorm. Oh, that's the guy from the dry cleaners. Not so dry today. Get the fuck out of my face, Fozzie Bear.
Waka waka.
So after getting home to his parents' apartment, his mother sees him all wet. She knows that Leonard has tried to kill himself once again. And his dad tells him that a possible business partner and his family are coming for dinner, and they would like for Leonard to join them.
Now, I like this from two different aspects. One, the writing here I thought was fantastic because it wasn't Isabella Rossellini, who is fucking phenomenal, by the way.
Yes.
Going just through exposition. She's not Mother Exposition here and just, oh, he did it again. Because remember that time where he was engaged and then he didn't like himself and he cut his wrist? Like, we don't even find out he cut his wrist until much later in the film.
Yeah.
And how that was his first attempt. I really, really enjoyed the subtle exposition throughout this movie and how they expected us as the audience to be intelligent enough to discern what is actually being said. Because, you know, they expect us to pay attention to a movie.
No, exactly.
I really enjoyed that. And that's when this part was when I started paying attention. The second part I liked here in this scene was the dad's approach. It wasn't what are you doing? You have so much to live. It wasn't one of this cliche diatribes of like a father desperately trying to hold on to his son. You know what I mean? He's very soft-spoken and just, hey, we'd like you to join us. We'd really like you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we like it when you're around.
Yeah.
Kind of was what he's basically saying here.
This family and possible business partner arrive for dinner. They have the typical awkward family dinner where Leonard's parents keep trying to talk him up, but he's not engaging in conversation. We see how awkward Leonard is just in general here. Leonard then asks Sandra, the Cohen's daughter, to his room to show her his photos.
This is so awkward.
Yes.
I have been fortunate enough, and I don't demean anyone who has had to move back in with their parents in their 30s or 40s. Because, look, everybody goes through some shit. But at the same time, I can't imagine being 40 years old and having to act like I'm in high school again. Like, do you want to come to my room and see my photographs? And then just sitting on the bed. So awkward. And Vinessa Shaw plays this really well because she is very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
She's trying very hard to be like nice and see this guy for what he really is and, you know, the good person. Nah, she's uncomfortable as shit, dude.
Corey's Life Lessons.
Hi, kids. Uncle Corey here. If you're at an awkward family dinner and you are yourself awkward, much like myself, here's a pro tip. Do what Leonard does here and just start talking with the kids.
Yes.
That's the easiest thing to do. The adults are judgmental and they're shitty and they're assholes and they're going to try and pry into your personal life so they can talk about you on the car ride home and elevate themselves in their own horrible positions in life.
Yes.
The kids, they just want you to make them fucking laugh. Just entertain me while these fucking giant people are having boring conversation.
In Leonard's bedroom, they get into a discussion about his old fiance. He tells her how he was engaged before, but they broke it off because genetic counseling showed that he and his fiance could not have healthy children.
It's like if we ever had kids, they'd be like dead after a year. So.
Yeah.
I think he says it later in the movie, but like the whole genetic, let's take a look at our genetics and yada yada. I think his fiance's parents pushed that.
Corey's Life Lessons.
Hi, kids. Uncle Corey here. If your future in-laws are pushing for a genetics test, they're white supremacists, dude. Just saying.
I thought you just put the P in the VG and then you just kind of cross your fingers and hope for the best.
Let's see what happens, kids.
You fucking roll the dice. And by the way,
I hope for the best whether there's a kid or not.
And by the way, he's still living with his fucking parents. And he's like, Ma, stop knocking on the door. We're fucking. So a few days later, Leonard meets his neighbor, Michelle, in his apartment complex. Leonard is immediately smitten. And he invites her back to his apartment because like her dad's there and he's yelling and whatever. And Michelle walks through his apartment like she owns the fucking place. Snooping around. What's this? Holding shit up. This is nice. You sure do have a lot of books. I got a quick don't do that for everybody.
Don't do that, it's not good for you.
Hi, Michelle's out there. Somebody invites you. You just met this person. Somebody invites you over. Hey, looks like you're having a bit of an issue over here. Why don't you come to my place, chill out for a minute till the issue leaves. Don't immediately just barge in, start picking. You sure do have a lot of books. I bet you're super smart. Hey, what's this thing? Did you buy this on eBay? How much did this cost? Dude, just sit nicely on the fucking couch, have some polite, awkward conversation like a normal goddamn person, and then go the fuck home when the person that's in your apartment finally leaves.
Yeah, and let's not forget, you're in there because your dad is a fucking psycho, apparently. Yes. And is just like screaming obscenities at you. So, like, this is a safe haven. And much like Whitney Houston in The Bodyguard, offer to do something for those people that are helping you out. Yeah. It's just a good thing to do. It just shows appreciation, not you just like, haven't fucking dusted this in a couple weeks, have you? Get the fuck back to your psycho dad and roll the dice there, you stupid bitch. Like, what the fuck is your problem?
I wouldn't let close friends come over to my house and start picking shit up. And how much is this? And what did you do this? And whoop, white glove test. Looks like you didn't dust. You can hit the fucking bricks, pal. How's that?
Hell yes.
After this whole apartment scene, he leaves his apartment. He's walking to meet his father and the Cohens. He sees Michelle and decides, fuck the family, I'm going to follow her on the train. So he ditches his dad and the Cohens and quote unquote accidentally runs into her while waiting for the train. And then they take the train together to the city and get to know each other a little bit more here.
Corey's life lessons.
If you are talking to a potential partner, sexual interest, whatever, and you bring up something artsy that you do, and they go, no, you're an artist, and don't ever let anybody tell you differently. Fucking run for the hills.
Yes. Leonard gets back home. He calls Sandra, sets up a date with her to go see a movie. He hangs up with her and then hangs out his window, starts taking pictures of Michelle in her window because they could see each other from their apartments. And instead of being creeped out, Michelle invites him out with her and her friends that night.
Don't do that, it's not good for you.
Hi, Michelle's. We'll go both. Here, hi, Leonard's and Michelle's. Hi, Leonard's. Don't creepily take pictures of the girl that you've been talking to because you could see her window through her apartment window. It's just not a thing. Don't do that. And Michelle's, when you see said Leonard taking pictures of you with a flash that lights up the fucking New York skyline, don't invite that guy to party with you. He's a bit creepy. If he's not creepy and like a serial killer, at the very least, he's a clinger.
Yes.
And he'll follow you around like a puppy dog. Now, if you want to do what Michelle does in this movie, use him, that's your prerogative. But just don't think you're going to be friends or if that's just not going to be a thing. He's going to be clingy as fuck.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
This is where I actually started to relate a little bit more to the movie. Because on one side, you're starting to see what's happening here. On one side, you have Vinessa Shaw's character, Sandra.
Yep.
You have Sandra on this side, and she's great. You know what I mean? Like, they have this one joke that they've built their whole relationship around, which is kind of The Sound of Music, and they keep bringing it up, and she likes it. He thinks it's fine, but it's a little weird for some reason. I don't know why. It's a fucking classic film. But like when you're building your relationship and all you have is like that one, this is our inside joke, that's not good. You're running out of things to talk about on the phone and you don't know each other.
You were right.
So you have her over here who's sort of benign. She's fine, a little more vanilla. And then you have this fucking fireball that's just like everything she's touching is just electric, and she's got all this energy and this life, and she's exciting and blah. I get that. And it being like, oh, I actually have a chance over here.
Yeah.
And I can just keep this one kind of dangling on for when I need her to be there for me. And it's just, it never, ever, ever works out where you're like, oh, the fireball, I'm in love with this. No, dude, you're going to get fucking burned. That's why that bitch is fire.
So we cut to the club. We get this whole scene. Michelle gets upset at this club. She runs out. She's on the phone with her boyfriend, apparently. So Leonard finds out that she's dating this married dude who is a partner in some law firm that she works at. He calms her down, and then she says she has to go back inside to get her purse. And when she goes back in, he waits outside for her. And you guessed it, she fucking ditches him. He waits outside forever, and he's like, fuck this, I'm out. Which actually made me really happy here.
Yes.
That at some point he went, okay, I'm out. We find out because she calls him after she gets back home. And he tells her, I waited there for a half an hour. Good on you, Leonard. Like, I get it. You're trying to put in work. Now you found out she has a boyfriend, but said boyfriend is married. So you're like, oh, that's going to blow up. I'll be here to cushion the fall. Everything's like, you could see the wheels turning in Leonard's head.
Oh, yeah.
But he's also like, it's been a half an hour. I think she ditched me. I'm out.
Which
so good on
did,
him.
And he did absolutely the right thing.
Yep.
And again, like that's a pretty appropriate amount of time. You left your bag in the club. You have to go back in, fight through a crowd, hope your bag's in the same spot, grab it, and then leave. Again, back through that crowd. Half hour is a good amount of time where it's like, okay, I waited an extra 10 minutes. I've been ditched.
Yeah.
And this, again, goes to the credit of the writing. I'm so bought into this movie at this point, and I want to know where it's going because it seems so realistic.
Yeah.
I understand the position Leonard's in. I get the fucking depression he's in. I get where he's got, these two women where he thinks he has this shot. Which, this is also, by the way, where I start to question the title of this film. Because this motherfucker does not have two lovers. He's got one lover and one unrequited love. Yes. He doesn't have two lovers till the end of this fucking movie. So, come on, man. We're getting a little liberal with our fucking definition of lover here.
We now get the scene where she calls him after she gets back from the club and then starts talking about her boyfriend. And then she invites Leonard out to dinner with her and her boyfriend, Ronald, to which Leonard accepts.
Because you know what Leonard's thinking here. I'll go to this thing. I'll expose him as a fucking douchebag or a fraud or whatever the fuck he is. Plus, I'll get to measure myself against this person. And then, I will have wild, passionate sex when she realizes that I'm the one for her.
Exactly.
And it does not go that
way. We then cut to the dinner. And they meet at this upscale restaurant. Leonard gets there a little bit early. They have a bit of conversation here, and it's basically just everybody sizing everybody up at the table, and that's all that's going on here. And then Michelle excuses herself to go to the bathroom, and this is where Ronald slides over and tells Leonard to keep an eye on Michelle because she's had some drug issues in the past, and this, that, and the other. After this, they go to the ballet or wherever the hell they're going, and then Leonard ends up going home. And for a very short scene, because the dinner, the little bit of conversation, she goes to the bathroom, we get Leonard and Ronald, or whatever his name is, having their little back and forth here. And then them getting the cab and going home. It's maybe, 3-4 minutes? It's not a very long scene, but you see a lot. Like, they did a really good job of kind of a little bit more, this is who these characters are in just this tiny scene.
Yes, very much so. And again, it's great writing. It's well paced. Nobody's rushing at all to deliver any information. They're not withholding, but they're just not rushing to dump it all out on you.
Yeah.
And again, it causes you to invest more into the movie, to pay more attention to the movie, to watch the characters, watch their mannerisms a little bit more, if you have any curiosity about what's going to happen at the end.
Yep.
Just because it is so unbelievably well written.
When Leonard gets home, Sandra surprises him because his parents told her that he wanted her to come over after he was out at dinner with friends. They talk for a little bit, and then they have sex. And then the next day on the roof of their building, he meets Michelle and tells her basically to get fucked and that he doesn't want to see her anymore.
Which, again, I'm so on Team Leonard at this point because I'm
100%.
I'm all the way on Team Sandra.
Yep.
Like, that sex did not look bad. Like, they painted her as this very vanilla person, and you kind of expected that sex scene to just be very, humdrum, like, I'm done. But it wasn't like that. There was a lot of passion involved in it.
Yeah.
So now I'm just like, hey, whatever your name is, Gwyneth, get fucked. Because I'm over it. All your problems are exactly that. They're yours. I'm officially out of this, whatever it is.
And I'm there too with you. Like, I'm on Team Leonard. I'm on Team Sandra. Like, I'm like, okay, this is shaping up to be really good because Leonard goes, okay, this Sandra chick, she's pretty. Michelle's like, you start doing pros and cons lists in Leonard's positions. And he's like, okay, Sandra genuinely likes me. We have conversation. Like, she's interested in shit that I'm interested in. And she's interested in me. And then you got this other person.
She gave up the dugout.
Yeah. You got this other person who's literally just a flaming bag of shit. It looks really bright, but as you get close, it smells worse and worse. So he kind of makes the right decision and goes, hey, Gwyneth, go get fucked. I'm going to be with this person who actually gives a shit about me, and it's going to be all good. So you're like, all right, cool. I love where this movie's going.
Yep.
And then it makes a right-hand turn somewhere.
Right around Miscarriage Central.
Yes. So some time goes by. Sandra and Leonard are dating. Michelle then calls Leonard here, and he is at Sandra's brother's bar mitzvah. And she's upset, says that she's sick. She needs him to take her to the hospital. So he basically drops everything at this point, takes Michelle to the hospital where she's treated for a miscarriage. She didn't know she was pregnant. Leonard takes her home, and while talking to her and trying to calm her down, Ronald unexpectedly shows up and Leonard hides.
I don't even know where to fucking begin with this.
And again, going back to the restaurant scene, there's a lot that happens in a very small period of time right here.
Yes.
It's all paced well, it's all written well, but it's a lot.
Yeah, dude. Like, is that my baby? No? Call 911.
Your number's still 911? Oh, righty then.
Like,
By
what
the
about
way,
what about the friends that took you to the club when we went out?
Exactly. There is a long line of people in Gwyneth's life throughout this movie where she had the opportunity to call them, but she called the simp that she knew she was going to be able to get to do whatever the fuck she needed to do. Yep. And even in the middle of a miscarriage, Leonard's like, oh shit, I have a chance? I'm gone. Like, dude, what the fuck are your priorities here? But then we cut to Ronald coming in and Leonard hiding. I'm not fucking I went through all. First off, what? You're telling him right fucking now what happened.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He either shits or get off the pot because I'm done with this. I'm hiding in a fucking closet. And why? Because he's going to get mad? I'm pretty mad. You know why? I left a fucking job fucking photographing shit, which is what I've been dying to do for my entire life, to take care of you and somebody else's fucking baby. Why? Because he's with his wife and his other kids? The fuck out of here with your shit.
So after Ronald leaves, Leonard comes out from behind the door, wherever he was hiding. He lays down with Michelle on her bed, and she asks Leonard to write something on her arm with his finger until she falls asleep, which he does.
I'm not in a relationship with you. What are we talking about? Are you out of your fucking mind?
A couple of weeks later, Michelle calls Leonard while he's having dinner with Sandra. She tells him that she's going to break it off with Ronald, and then she later meets him on the roof again, tells him that she broke it off with Ronald, she's moving to San Francisco, she's crashing on one of her friend's couches. Leonard tells her to not leave because he's in love with her, and they have sex on the roof.
Corey's Life Lessons!
Hi kids, Uncle Corey here. If you've been pining after someone and they're finally free, but they're free because they've been in a downward fucking spiral since you met them, you know she had a drug addiction and you've seen her pop pills. You know her married fucking boyfriend knocked her up and you're the one that had to clean up when shit went bad there. You're the one she had to ask for advice. You're the one she had to lay down. She's desperately trying to fix her life at this moment and has a moment of clarity and says, I need to get the fuck out of here because everything around me, whether it's my fault or not, is toxic and I gotta go. And you're like, yeah, but I love you. So, dude, she is in no, even if you're going with her to San Francisco, which she's like, I'll fucking go with you. She's not prepared for that.
Yeah.
You are taking her from one relationship and just throwing her right into another one where you have nothing to go on.
Yep.
Nothing. You have no job. You have no prospects. You have no place to live.
Yep.
I don't even understand the selfishness in this turn for Leonard.
You were right.
People who have been severely depressed will know, like, kind of once you're in that depression, you like that pain. You like that letdown. You start to expect that letdown. You need that. So I'm starting to wonder here if Leonard knows this, because he's not a stupid person.
Yeah.
And he's going against everything he knows he's supposed to do at this point, just because he wants to be in that spiral. He wants to fucking crash and burn because he wants to continue to feel that pain. And Sandra is actually alleviating that pain and making him feel better.
And here, this is where we get the whole, I'm moving to San Francisco. Do you want to come with me? And Leonard agrees with her on this phone call to go with her to San Fran. Literally the next day, he's online. He's buying tickets, the 2 plane tickets. He goes out, he buys an engagement ring, and then he starts packing for this trip. And the next day, they have this New Year's party that they're hosting at his parents' place. And like the whole plan is like, I'm ditching out during the fucking New Year's party. And
yeah.
By the way, as far as plans go, not bad, because everybody's like, they're preoccupied.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the only person that'll be like, hey, where's Leonard, is your parents, maybe, depending on how drunk they get, and Sandra, who's literally expecting you to be there. But before we get to the party, we have the meeting between Leonard and Sandra's dad. He's offering him a partnership in this whole merging family businesses thing. And both Leonard's parents and the Cohens believe that he's going to marry Sandra, he's going to run the business. And basically, Sandra's dad here is just like, hey, don't fuck this up.
You fuck up.
This, for Sandra's dad, because from the outside looking in, and from what we've seen in this movie, he knows a little bit about him. He seems a little weird. Mm-hmm. And this is the most real conversation that's had thus far, where he's just like, you gonna fuck this up? Am I gonna have to give you a fresh one? Like, what? It's such a great conversation, and I love it, and I respect the shit out of it.
Well, it is, because you typically see in movies, you date my daughter, you're going to marry my daughter. Here's my shotgun, boy, and here's my cousins behind me, and fuck you, buddy. And that's not how it goes in real life. People don't talk to other people like that. You get your fucking ass kicked, old man. You don't talk like that to somebody.
Yes.
You just don't do that. So this was very realistic in how one of those conversations really would go.
100%.
And, there's just that one fuck that every dad throws out there just to let you know, like, I'm pretty serious about this, but also I'm not really a tough guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, are you going to fuck this up? That's the one, like, oh shit. Like, this super jovial guy just said fuck to me in a very stern tone. I'm not going to fuck it up. Thank you.
I mean, business, buddy. So that night we get to the New Year's Eve party at Leonard's parents' house. Leonard sneaks out to meet Michelle in the courtyard. His mom catches him in the stairwell, and she immediately knows what's going on without any fucking explanation. He gives her a big hug, and then he bounces.
And again, I like this scene because the parents are staying true to their character. They're just worried about him. Like, that's all they fucking care about, is him being healthy and alive.
Yep.
And like this, so she's just like, oh, you're going to do this thing? Okay. Like, I just hope you know what you're doing. That's all it is. It's no,
Yeah.
I need to parent you. You're fucking your life up. What about Sand? She doesn't go into any of that. Just like, okay, that's what you got to do. It's what you got to do.
No, absolutely. He finally gets outside. Michelle isn't there. After a bit, she comes down, tells him that she isn't going to San Francisco because Ronald left his wife and is going to marry her. Leonard is devastated here. Now, it's because Leonard does have feelings. I, on the other hand, do not. Because my response, instead of going, oh my God, what the fuck have I done? Because now it's the what the fuck have I done moment for him.
Yep.
Here, he's like, he's crushed. She gives him a cheek and he's like, just get away from me. Feelings and things. Like, I'm like, good luck with the cheating guy. He's gonna fuck around on you just like he did on his fucking wife, you asshole. Are you stupid? Do you not realize this? But Leonard isn't me, so Leonard's just like, feelings and things, I'm fucked.
And this is where my no feelings would have taken a Leonard turn, but not quite as far, because I'd have been like, oh my God, I fucking bought these tickets. I got this ring. What the fuck am I going to do? Oh, way to fuck it up. Oh, well, at least Sandra's back at home. Hey, Sandra, you want to go to San Francisco next week? I got you, boo. I just got to make a quick change on these tickets, but we're going.
Which is basically what he does here.
Yep.
He's fucked up for about all of 5 minutes. He heads out to the beach. He walks to the water. As you know, his feet are in like the surf of the ocean. Mm-hmm. He drops a glove that Sandra gave him earlier. He picks up the glove. He goes back to the party. And after finding Sandra, he gives her the ring that he bought for Michelle. They hug it out, and then we get credits. At the end, we always talk about people getting everything that they want. And even though Leonard doesn't get everything that he wants, he kind of gets everything that he fucking wants at the end of this thing.
Yeah, what's funny is my takeaway when he did that was, this dude is going to put a Nina in his mouth in 10 years, 5 years, 15 years, doesn't matter. And he's still going to do what he was going to do at the beginning of the movie. Yeah. Because that, like, I understand a fallback plan, and part of me is like, haha, good job, Leonard. Smart man. Have a fallback plan. That's always the way you go. Always the way to go. That's the safest thing you could ever do.
Yeah.
But then the other part of me is like, dude, you are going to realize how truly unhappy you are right around kid 3, and it's over.
I was going to say, maybe not even that long. It might be right after kid 1. But if you do what I do and you just mush the feelings down, it might be kid 3.
Hell yes.
But dude, all in all, man, like at the end, I was kind of like, oh, what a piece of shit. Because you're playing backup plans with people and whatever. But fucking well written, well shot. The actors are all amazing. Like from front to back. And we talk about buy-in. Like you're bought into this movie because of how well written it is.
Yes.
And literally, I was bought in from the beginning, all the way through the end.
Yeah, this is it reminded me, for movies that we've reviewed, a lot of Welcome to the Dollhouse, from the aspect that there's not a lot that actually happens in this movie. The plot is very basic.
Yep.
There's no action whatsoever. There's not even like a fist fight between Ronald and Leonard. Like literally nothing happens but conversations.
Yep.
And they do a fantastic job with it. And they make these characters compelling and relatable. And the 180 at the end where you feel for Leonard so bad. Like you can feel his pain after Gwyneth dumps him.
Yep.
And for him to just turn around and just so coldly be like, yeah, I got you a present, baby. You're like, fuck, dude. Like, that's how you got the role as the Joker. I totally see it now. Because, holy shit, like, that's next level sociopath.
Yeah.
Like, same night, the ring you were going to put on something, you're just like, hey, baby, guess what? I got you. And you can actually look at her with a straight face, like, lose her mind because she thinks you fucking give a shit about her at all.
Yeah.
just to turn him into a bad guy that quick was phenomenal.
Yeah. No, it
Just
was
great.
it was great. I really liked this movie.
Mhm.
Wasn't any like flaws. Like I liked everything about it. I'm not like, oh, this is one of the best movies of all time, but like this is a movie you can watch a few times and not get bored of it. And probably
Yeah.
pick up new things along the way. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, next time I'm on a date and want to seem smart, and we're like, oh, let's watch a movie, I'm gonna be like, hey, have you ever heard of Two Lovers? It's really good. It's about
I like it.
relationships.
It's nice.
These are the ones you keep in your back pocket, boys.
That's right. Don't invite him to Interview with a Vampire. Invite him to this. Play it smart.
Yep.
Well, that's all I got. Do you got anything else for this one?
No, sir.
All right. Well, for Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 2008's Two Lovers.